What if humanity never lost its greatest collection of knowledge? What if the ancient world was far more advanced than we ever realized? The great Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building. It was the intellectual heart of the ancient world. At its zenith, it was rumored to hold up to 500,000 scrolls, a repository of everything known about science, medicine, engineering, astronomy, and philosophy. It was the central nervous system of human discovery. And then, tragically, it was lost to history. But what if it wasn't? What if the library and all the knowledge it contained had survived? How different would our world be today? To understand the magnitude of this loss, we first need to grasp what the Library of Alexandria truly was. Founded in the early 3rd century BCE in Egypt by the Ptolemaic dynasty, it was more than a simple archive. It was a revolutionary idea, a universal library aiming to collect all of the world's knowledge under one roof. Ships docking in Alexandria's port were searched not for contraband, but for books. Any scroll found was taken to the library, copied by professional scribes, and the copy was returned to its owner while the original was kept. This ambitious project brought together wisdom from across the known world, from Greece, Egypt, Persia, and even as far as India. But the library was also a bustling research institute, a university before the concept existed. The greatest minds of the era gathered there. Scholars didn't just passively store information, they actively built upon it. They debated, they experimented, and they made discoveries that were astonishingly ahead of their time. It was here that Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth with remarkable accuracy, using just shadows, a well, and some basic geometry. It's believed that Hero of Alexandria, a brilliant inventor, created the world's first steam engine, the Elapopyle, nearly 2,000 years before James Watt. Anatomists like Herophilus performed dissections on human bodies, gaining insights into the nervous and circulatory systems that would be lost and not rediscovered for over 1,500 years. The library wasn't just storing knowledge, it was creating the future. The story of the library's decline is complex and tragic. It wasn't a single catastrophic fire, as popular myth suggests, but a slow, painful decay over centuries. A series of events, including civil wars, budget cuts, political purges, and religious intolerance, chipped away at its collections and its intellectual spirit. Pieces of it were damaged during Caesar's civil war. Later, religious conflicts saw its subsidiary daughter library destroyed. Over time, what was once the vibrant center of the world faded into memory, and its priceless scrolls turned to dust. But let's imagine an alternate timeline, a timeline where the library survives. Imagine Roman emperors, instead of neglecting it, see its value and invest in its expansion. Imagine its scrolls are meticulously preserved, copied, and translated into Latin, Arabic, and other languages as empires rise and fall. Instead of knowledge being scattered, lost, and painfully rediscovered centuries later during the Renaissance, it is continuously built upon. The chain of human progress is never broken. What would that world look like? The technological consequences would be staggering. Consider medicine. The advanced anatomical knowledge of Alexandrian scholars could have prevented centuries of misguided medical practices. With a continuous tradition of scientific inquiry, the germ theory of disease might have been developed in the Roman era, not in the 19th century. Surgeries would become safer, public sanitation would improve, and lifespans could have increased dramatically, long before what we consider the modern age. Think about technology and engineering. Hero's steam engine, instead of being a mere curiosity, could have been refined and put to practical use. This could have triggered an industrial revolution, not in 18th century Britain, but in the Roman Empire or the early caliphates. Steam-powered pumps could have irrigated vast deserts. Steam-powered ships could have made global navigation faster and safer, centuries before the age of discovery. The complex gear systems described in artifacts like the Antikythera mechanism, An astronomical calculator from that era suggests a deep understanding of mechanical engineering, with the library's backing. This could have evolved into sophisticated machinery for manufacturing, construction, and maybe even early forms of computation. Concepts like electricity, explored by thinkers like Thales of Miletus, might not have been just philosophical novelties, but the subject of rigorous experimentation a millennium earlier. With this accelerated technological and scientific progress, the very shape of human history would change. An industrial revolution in the first millennium would have completely altered the dynamics of power. Empires might have become more interconnected through advanced travel and communication. Global exploration wouldn't have been a daring leap into the unknown in the 15th century. It might have been a gradual, systematic process beginning in antiquity. Civilizations might have met and exchanged ideas much earlier, potentially avoiding some of the misunderstandings and conflicts that defined our own history. The so-called Dark Ages in Europe might never have happened, or at least would have been far less severe. We might have avoided centuries of superstition and stagnation, stepping into a scientific and enlightened age far sooner than we did. The library represents a fork in the road of human history, a path not taken. It forces us to ask a profound question. What would our world look like today if humanity never forgot what it once knew? What futures did we lose in the smoke and dust of Alexandria? The loss of the library wasn't just the loss of ancient scrolls, 'twas the loss of countless possible worlds. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through history thought-provoking, please consider liking the video and subscribing for more explorations into the what-ifs of our past. Let us know in the comments what you think our world would be like if the Great Library had survived.